Hi, this is Sarah from sarayip.com, Facebook, The Numbers Queen, and Instagram, sarayip1111, with a very special, cool friend, Vanessa Montgomery from Astro-Allstarz. Now, everybody is excited about 2023 being better than 2022. So that's why I've got Vanessa here, because she's a font of wisdom and funny goodness. Vanessa, hello.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for having me on to talk the stars.
I'm excited. So do you want to just introduce yourself? Because this is a new thing.
Yes, I shall. So I'm Vanessa Montgomery of Astro-Allstarz with a Z. I'm the celebrity astrologer for Glamour Horoscope US, with a weekly column there if you ever want to check your stars. And I have 3 books out and counting. So Star Power, Cosmic Power, and Astro Power. So you can learn all the fundamentals through those. And yes, I'm like a modern mystic, yet very practical and very grounded. But what does it mean for us here? What can we do?
Yeah, I can totally correlate that. So I've had a reading with Vanessa, and we met up at the organic markets, and she's just so powerful. Yeah, it goes straight through. I remember all the stuff you say, which is saying a lot. I'm sleep deprived mum. So today I wanted to just introduce a little bit about Vanessa. Vanessa is a 3/0/3 life path, which is the artist, healing the solar plexus chakra, which is about personal power, funny enough. And then you have 3 books, funny enough.
The Power series.
Of course you do. The trifecta. So just curious, Vanessa, we know the 3 looks like a mouth, also looks like boobs and a butt. We know they're the naughty, cheeky, funny ones. And just create a right wherever they go is the best way to describe them. Quiet right, sometimes a loud right. Can you relate to this idea of coming to heal your inner child, your imagination, your confidence, your solar plexus?
Yeah, definitely. And certainly confidence has been a big one. My second book, Cosmic Power, is about sun signs, and really underpinning that, and a major message in that is actually all about confidence and your solar plexus, because the sun is your energy source. It's very Leo. It's very getting your confidence higher. In my research, I found that apparently confidence out trumps competence in many cases. So it's really important to build that. And if you use astrology as a lens or as a framework, that's talking about your sun sign in your horoscope.
So I'll be getting all these books for my birthday, and I'm totally getting Vanessa to sign them. It's interesting, you're wearing yellow glasses. And
Yeah,
of course the
absolutely.
healing color fit, the solar plexus is yellow. And I'm thinking, wow, it just keeps going. Thank you for sharing that. And so just curious, your life path age turning point in this lifetime would have been 30. So what kind of changes were happening at 30 where you maybe got your power back, or you fulfilled some sort of vision?
So that was 2001 for me. And because I've got such a late birthday, being a Sagittarius, I was just graduating from university, which was always a dream of mine, to continue studying. Lots of planets in Sagittarius, continue studying. And I put myself through university in Sydney, and I just had the best time. It was just such a, talking about confidence, it did give me a lot more confidence, because it was such a big achievement. I enjoyed every minute of it, and then went into astrology rather than fashion and textile design, which is what I studied, while also self-learning before I studied astrology properly. So the confidence boost was huge. I think I felt a little maybe inadequate or insecure about not having this ongoing education, and it's something I really aspired to. Sagittarius rules expanding, higher education, any experience that expands you. And I've got a North Node, which is in the area of my birth chart that is higher education in Aquarius. So I feel like I was activating my destiny. It all worked well for me, and that was huge. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it all correlates. Yeah, I've always kind of been curious about combining more astrology and numerology, but to be honest, I have my hands full with just
both are a lot.
The 11/11 stuff jumping out at me every 5 seconds. But yeah, no, it feels like this is the perfect time to combine forces. So I am wondering, what are like 3 kind of themes that you have, you can forecast coming up for 2023? Because this is really the time of year people are looking for some solid information, not copy paste Google type stuff. So
Yeah,
would it be okay if you just shared maybe three
for sure.
themed?
So the three major headlines, if we're going to boil it down to the top headlines, I would pick out the Venus retrograde in Leo, not huge, but significant. The Pluto moving into Aquarius, huge, very significant.
Yep.
Saturn into Pisces, pretty big. Pluto is the headline. If there was one thing we were going to talk about, it would be Pluto moving sign. So when an outer planet moves into a new sign, the big deal about that is it's going to be in that sign for so long. It's a real shift in themes. So themes according to that planet and then the sign that it's in the world, mundane astrology. And then on another personal level, grounding that into your life and how it affects you. We read that by seeing how it interplays with your birth chart.
So question, Vanessa, so could you possibly give us some timings? Because I have a feeling they're going to really overlap with some of the numbers stuff that I'm covering in my forecast soon.
So Venus retrogrades in Leo from July 22nd to September 3rd. Pluto moves into Aquarius, or I should shuffle these dates, March 23rd to June 11. Then it goes back into Capricorn, and then it will go back next year, January 19, into Aquarius, where it will stay until 2044. So 20 years. That's why it's such a big deal, a 20-year Aquarius theme. So Aquarians, Sarah.
And my family and all my people
and
who see 1111 Aquarius code.
Are going to, at some point in that 20 years, have Pluto transit over across your sun. If you have other planets in Aquarius, which I'm pretty sure you do, not a lot,
Totally.
it's going to be a really big deal for you and your family. So, yeah, and if you have significant points in your chart, like if you have Aquarius rising or on the descendant, which is relationships, on the midheaven, which is your career, down the bottom, which is like your home, very big deal.
I can really feel there's a lot of correlation. So next year, 2023, is a 7 universal year for the planet, which is a lot about healing the crown chakra, which is a lot about spiritual knowledge, giving ourselves the education that we might have been denied as children, of like where we really come from, what we're capable of. And then so the year officially begins in March, which is one of the big astrological turning points, and all the astrologers and numerologists agree that's really when the year kicks off. So that's interesting. And then in my system, in a 7-year, July is always the big turning point. So it's cool.
Yeah, so that
how it just all fits together, and it kind of gives me a little bit of peace that I'm not totally bluffing, because it's nice to sort of see that it doesn't matter maybe where you come from, you're going to get that information to prepare and to get ready and all those things.
Yeah, and I think that so the astrological new year starts at when the sun hits the 0 degrees Aries, going into spring in the northern hemisphere, and of course that's going into autumn here in the southern hemisphere. So that point marks it. So that's always really the new astrological year. And then so many cultures have different times for that, like the Chinese New Year, February, based on the moon cycle, right?
Well, I see no reason not to party all year round. I'm sure you agree. And, I've written about the Chinese Year of the Water Rabbit, which I'll link to. But it's interesting because, of course, 1.4 billion people potentially believe in that, which I think it's going to create a sway. It's going to create an influence because they're putting all their energy on all their money and all of their planning into that. So whether you believe it or not, it's a real thing. Yeah, it's like a real commercial thing.
Exactly. It's an energy. Yeah. When that many people are pumping energy into, an intention into the universe. Same with our new year. That's a lot of people pumping intentions into the stratosphere.
So true. Now, I'd really like to talk a little bit more about Pluto, but also just wanted to mention we're recording this on the 28th of December. So we've got a Mercury retrograde happening, don't we?
Yes. So the Mercury retrograde is December 29 through to January 18, 2023. And with any retrograde, there's also a shadow, like a pre-shade period. Then you've got the retrograde and then you've got the post-grade. So the period that the planet, in this case Mercury, is between the points where it starts retrograding and stops retrograding. So it sort of goes like that, direct, retrogrades back to that point, goes forward and hits the point where it retrograded from. They're all significant. So that shadow period, which we've just come through the last, say, 2.5, 3 weeks.
Oh my God, did I feel that?
It's the setup. That's like the prequel. Then you get the retrograde where it all happens. And Mercury retrograde is not huge unless it really impacts you, points in your personal chart. Really, you can often see these things play out in the media, which can be really interesting. We're seeing currently with that Mars retrograde really expressing, which we're still currently in. So Mercury retrograde is more minor. It happens 3 to 4 times a year for about 3 weeks. So anyway, it does the retrograde, all the things happen then. That's when you drop the phone, send the email, get messages, you know, if maybe someone from your past, or you think about, you know, start thinking about someone you used to know, maybe a conversation. It's like, that's a message for you. Mercury is the messenger. It's everything about communication. So you see what it is. So Act 2. And then it goes direct. The retrograde may be over, but it still has to go direct and pass through that area, those points in the sky, you know, for our apparent view here on Earth. That's what it's like, an optical illusion, but that's what it looks like to us. It goes back over, and that's where you put all that new information, or the disasters that have happened or complications. That's when you start to act on it and make things right, or tweak and kind of tweak your direction because you've found, oh, actually stumbled a bit. That's not right.
Yeah. I definitely, totally. Yeah, I definitely find it a bit like an ad break, or a bit of a timeout. And I collect a lot of amusing stories and anecdotes during that time. And then, of course, I turn them into blogs and videos. And I guess what I love about Mercury retrograde, firstly, it's actually really predictable. So it always surprises me when people seem to get caught out by it. But secondly, I just think that it's such an opportunity to surrender. You really often see those people who are perhaps a bit controlling, or they rely solely on logic and facts, and they're the ones who seem to get the strangest things happen, sort of like reminding them that they're a spirit, that they don't control everything. And I just find it like a nice sort of equalizer time, and of course such a great opportunity to catch up with people.
Exactly. And it goes pretty much covers most of Capricorn season. And I thought this one's quite interesting in terms of timing, because it's just hitting as we're coming into the new year. We like to set our intentions, really start to reflect. It's great for reflecting, not great for planning ahead just yet.
Yeah.
Or certainly you can block it out, but know that you're going to revisit that and change that plan for next year.
Which is totally 7 energy. 7 is like sudden reversals, sudden promotions, lightning strikes, not so much like getting hit by lightning, but just like illumination, epiphanies. And so, I definitely see it as a year. A lot of people are going to realize that they're happy or not happy, and, finally have that courage to keep moving. Which will be
wherever, I was just going to say, wherever you personally have Capricorn in your birth chart, that's the area you'll be reassessing specifically.
That's interesting because I have rising Capricorn.
Yeah, so that's interesting for you, right? So don't put sign anything into cement kind of thing. Like, pencil it out and be ready to adjust.
Oh, that's really fascinating. Well, a few people I'll need to email, but that totally blends with what I've been feeling. What I love about astrology and numerology is that, of course, it brings forward your intuition and life experience. And so it kind of like complements what you already have. It doesn't have to clash. I find like a lot of the time when I try to study things, especially in personal growth, sometimes it feels like I'm trying to force feed myself or change myself. But, these modalities, they just feel very natural to me.
Yeah.
Very human, very like humanitarian as well. They seem to sort of get people talking, bring people together, create that sense of humor and community.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about the Pluto in Aquarius. Speaking,
that's okay. Yeah, I'm very grateful. So this movement, I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of Aquarians. There's 4 out of 5 in our family who are Aquarians, and I've always said 11 is very Aquarius in terms of wanting people to be equal and have opportunity and reach their potential. So, I mean, how would you expect that to impact people? This 20-year change in Pluto.
Well, I'll start off by saying there's currently a bit of Aquarius themes at the moment anyway, because Saturn has been traveling through Aquarius. It'll go into Pisces, which is one of my 3 headlines, March 7. So if you've got Saturn in Aquarius natally, you've just had your Saturn return. If you've got Saturn in Pisces, which means you would have been born around 1996, 95, 96, you'll be having your Saturn return in Pisces. So 29-ish. So yeah, we've already had this theme. Sometimes planets kind of handball a theme to the next planet when one goes in, goes out, but then another one goes in and picks up the thread. And sometimes that can happen over quite a period of time. This time we've got Saturn in there. So Saturn and Pluto, it's not like they're similar, but they are very challenging. They really set up challenges for us. So Saturn is much more mild than Pluto. It takes 2.5 years to go through a sign, whereas Pluto currently is 20. So Sarah, that means you've had Saturn go across all your Aquarius planets placements, same with all your families, picking up Saturn over these 2.5 years. And that's going to move on. That's going to move on.
It's been very interesting. My son, Forrest, it's not like I talk to him about astrology, but, you know, all the kids we have, they're so tuned in. So I noticed he was playing a game with the boys, and then he just comes out with, I'm the planet Saturn. And he just was like, it's the best planet, Mum. I'm like, okay. And of course, Forrest is very Saturnian. He's incredibly disciplined. He's the baby who, as a spirit, was like, hurry up, I'm waiting for you, Mum, conceive me. So it's fascinating, you know. I can relate to what you're saying is what I was
It's interesting, but it's going to lighten up once that's moved on. So handballing to Pluto is going to take all those themes and just go deep and go hard. Pluto is, let's talk about the themes of Pluto first. So Pluto is, well, it's a few things. It's the destroyer. Pluto's like Scorpio in a way. It just raises everything to the ground that is not authentic. That is not authentic. It's really, it's a very big challenge. It's a very big call to personal power when it hits your sun. So the sun being me, my, I, mine, personal, and Pluto, a keyword is really power. So during those transits, you can, this is not on personal level, and then I'll get to the group world level. Personal level is, because it's power, it can be power challenges. So you could have, if you're not owning your power, and this is part of my power series as well, especially for women in our culture and society, if you don't own your power, literally someone else will. You will get challenges to your power.
It's getting chills.
Me too. And in a positive way, you can see that if you step back into the bigger picture, it's a chance, it's an opportunity for you to push back. It's a chance for you to get in there, like get into the ring and wrestle with that person, or just say no, like, I'm not interested in playing your game. And
I did like the head thing you just did there.
Yeah. Been to India a few times.
It's interesting because that's what I've been working with women on in my World Changes program, and I can feel that everything's just, it's just all coming together. And having 3 boys, I get a lot of challenges to power, and I guess what I've learned the most is to kind of flex, not oppose, which is against my stiff thumb. Can I just tell you, really I've really had to use my self-awareness and meditation, but there's so much reward, isn't there, in being able to really connect with people. I mean, I think that's really why we come to Earth, is to meet all our old friends and change the world.
Yes, well, it is really social. Aquarius, going into themes of Aquarius, it's an air sign. It's the 3rd air sign, so it's transpersonal. It's interested in the group and not so much, oh, how are you feeling today, that one person. It's like, well, what's really going on out here? It's got tentacles.
I'm not known for asking that question.
Like this, or little beacons. Yeah, it's not personal. There's nothing personal about Aquarius. They say about Aquarians, they hate people, but they love like the group. They love humanity, but on an individual basis.
I wonder if an Aquarian said that, or someone who maybe had a biffo with an Aquarian. That's like, I might have to jump into some astrology there. But okay, so I think what you're conveying is that this is a shift that's already started, because Mars was in Aquarius for 2.5 years. And so now Pluto is going into Aquarius. And I mean, this correlates with, for example, the Chinese astrology of the water rabbit year. So the last one was 1963, which was the uprising in America, the civil, oh, goosebumps again, yeah. The civil riots, Martin Luther King's speech, but then, you know, a lot of assassinations and wow. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to get you on the call. I thought, well, let's start something, because I just feel like people are so hungry for information where they can sort of have a level of trust and there's some sort of data, because yeah, it just feels like everything's starting to dissolve and get very confusing.
Yeah, it's really a time of change, isn't it? So in terms of revolutions, Pluto was in Aquarius over the French Revolution period. This is last time it was in Aquarius. So you always look back to what happened last time, like you just did. So the French Revolution and the American Revolution, there are other factors in that. It's not just this, but I mean, it is very Aquarius to have protest, social upheaval, protest,
I've been protesting since I was 2. Ask my mum.
It's the protester. It's absolutely the protester. So we've already seen that as soon as Saturn went into Aquarius this time, we start getting that again. Last time Saturn was in Aquarius with the LA riots, similar scenario, bang, right on time again. Pluto's going to go in. It's going to get a lot heavier.
Now, just checking, you did say that was around March, yeah?
So it goes in for a little period of time in March, at the March 23rd to June 11, and then it goes so slowly, it just kind of retrogrades like that for 20 years. So it's going to go back a couple of times into Capricorn, where it is at the moment, late stage capitalism. That's pretty much a key word for what Pluto's doing. So yeah, it's kind of dismantling and changing systems of power, government. Also, those systems flexing their power and perhaps fighting the change. But what we know is there is going to be a big shift in power.
Oh, this explains my whole forecast. There's like a whole bird theme. And I was just thinking about the whole dinosaurs to birds evolution.
Very Capricorn to Aquarius. Aquarius is so much the bird. The air signs are air, and yeah, often
I feel really validated by talking to you, which is what I feel in general when I catch up. So thank you for being extremely generous today. How can people catch up with you or follow you?
So you can find me at astro-allstarz.com, STARZ.com. You can find me on Instagram as well. I'm pretty active there. Message me on either, email me. If you want to schedule in for a personal reading, you can do that through my website as well. Also, my books, I'll just show you quickly.
They're beautiful books.
Star Power. So this one's also in French. This is the French version.
I'm going to have to take another photo. Hang on. Can you just hold that up again?
Yes.
I'm going to smile. I just think it's cute to have like the two of us in Star Power. It's
true. So that's all the fundamentals you need for reading a birth chart. And then my third book builds on that, Astro Power, which is transits. So that's what we're really talking about today.
Yeah, I'll take a photo again.
Oh,
selfie kind of day.
Yeah. And Cosmic Power was my second book, and that's the one that's really about confidence, personal power, basically igniting your light and following your own destiny, your own path, and potential is really activating your sun sign. And
look at those colors. Those colors are phenomenal. The heart chakra, you know, the greens and the pinks.
And there's a lot of orange. There's actually
quite a lot of use.
I'm trying to find the pictures. There's actually quite a lot of pictures in this, although
that doesn't surprise
I'm not finding them right now. There's one. It's cute. Oh, there's another one. There's some beautiful.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Well, I'll put some links at the bottom. So thank you so much. So this has been Sarah from sarayup.com with my friend astrologer Vanessa Montgomery from Astro-Allstarz. And so I look forward to some more chats with you, especially as we get into that March season. Sounds like it would be a perfect time. So thanks again for joining us, and everyone listening, thank you so much for your support, and let us know below how you went and if you've got any questions. Okay, see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.